going to want to do here is just watch through some parts of the debate and explain what went wrong, explain how I was misrepresented and misquoted on numerous occasions, explain the kind of absurdities that I found while going through this debate and why I responded in the ways that I did or didn't at the time. But before I do so, there are a few points that I want to mention about the debate itself, the way it was handled, the way it's been uploaded and the comments and things like this. So let's just run through a few of those points and you'll see what I'm talking about. So the first thing to note is that Muhammad Hijab's version of this video is titled Islam versus Atheism, Oxford University Debate. This debate was not hosted by Oxford University, as it says in the event description. This was hosted by the Oxford Forum, which is a student-run society. I know the organisers of the debate, they put in a lot of effort to try and get this to come to pass, and when they did, they got absolutely no credit for it. And I remember when we did the next debate that I did with Sabur Ahmed, which was also filmed by the same organisation, they told me that they were quite upset by the fact that they didn't get any reference. So that's the first thing to note, is that there's absolutely no referencing to the people who hosted the debate, nor is there a link to my channel or anything like that. And in fact, why don't we just take a look at the description of this video to see the objective manner in which the events are described. The debate was hosted by Oxford University. Not true, as I say. The topic debated was, does Islam explain reality better than atheism? And the arguments made were powerful, passionate, and intense. Alhamdulillah, the truth of Islam was demonstrated to not only be the best explanation of reality, but the only explanation of reality that makes sense with what we can observe. On the other side, the atheists' denial, notice atheist is capitalized there by the way, of God, meant that they couldn't provide an ultimate explanation of reality without falling into self-contradictions. So this is a taste of the kind of objective neutrality that we're dealing with on a channel like this, bearing in mind that they have sole monopoly over the footage, right? This is another thing that I need to note, is that I am not allowed to upload the footage. I don't have permission to do so. Originally, before the debate was put on, I was under the understanding that I would be able to have access to the footage, but this isn't something I agreed with IERA, who is the organisation who filmed it, themselves. So admittedly, like, this could be fine. It could just be due to a misunderstanding. Anyway, after the debate happened, I got an email through that said, look, we filmed this, we paid for this, but we understand that you might want to use the footage, so we'll allow you to do so under some strict conditions. I'm not going to actually show you a screenshot of the email or something, I'm not sure what the legalities are on that, but there were 4 conditions that were mentioned in the email pertaining to how I could use the footage. The first was that I'm only allowed to use a specified 40 minutes of the debate. I'm only allowed to include the opening statements. That is to say, I can't upload the full debate. Again, this is potentially reasonable because they want people to be directed to their version of the video because they filmed it, so fair enough, that's okay. Then they listed 3 conditions. First condition, I wasn't allowed to distort or edit the footage in any way. Of course, perfectly reasonable. Second, I'm not allowed to control or manipulate the comments, none held for review, none deleted, anything like that. Again, perfectly reasonable. This is a public debate and we don't want to be controlling the reactions. Condition 3, I appropriately reference and cite them as the originators of the footage and give them credit where credit is due. None of these 3 privileges were afforded to me in return. Okay, let's go through these points one by one. This will probably amaze you. On the first point about editing and distortion, okay, I'm not just talking about them taking a clip from the original debate and uploading it in isolation, although they did do that. What I'm talking about is them taking separately filmed footage and editing it into the original debate to make it look as though it was said in the original debate. Right, I'm not kidding, right? Edited in footage, literally filmed separately and spliced in to the debate to make it look as though it was said at the time, right? I have never come across this kind of thing before in my life, and I couldn't believe it when I saw it for the first time. Let me demonstrate it to you now. Okay, so here we are. It's Muhammad Hijab's closing statement, which you can find in the original speech. Now, for most of the speech, it's one continuous shot, which you can view here if we watch him talk for a minute.
Fact, like Abdullah said, they're polytheists. That's what the Quran says, chapter 39, verse 29. Allah says in the Quran, He says,
Ooh, did you spot that? Did you see what happened there? Let's watch that again.
Allah says in the Quran, He says,
okay, so there appears to be some kind of cut. Now, was this just a cut to a different camera or something like that? Well, let's analyze this cut and see what actually happened here. Okay, so before the cut, what we can see here, these are the things to take notice of, most pressingly. Firstly, Muhammad Hijab is wearing suit and tie, and notice how the tie is tucked into the jacket. Also notice that he's wearing a lapel microphone on the tie that's clipped on to pick up his voice. Now compare that with the clip that you see after the cut. As you can see, not only has his hand positions changed, I mean, I'm surprised I have to explain this to you because it's obvious what's happened here, but just in case, take a look at the tie. It's no longer tucked in. Now, again, this could be something to do with it being filmed at maybe a different point in the debate and the tie slipped out or something. Okay, but look, there's also no microphone on his tie. Okay, the microphone was clipped on to myself and all of the other debaters at the beginning of the debate and left on until the end, right? The fact that the microphone has now disappeared implies only one thing. This was not filmed during the debate. Now, to their credit, they've at least tried to replicate the background. I mean, it might be the same background. I'm pretty sure they left at the same time I did, so I'm not sure. I mean, it looks to me as though maybe the slates of wood behind Muhammad in the second clip are closer together. They're like thinner slabs or something than in the original footage. I don't know. I mean, there's a small chance it was filmed in the same venue. But what's certain is that the clip that was edited in was not said in the original debate, right? This is editing, right? Not just, as I say, not just taking a clip or something like that, but literally splicing in footage to a debate to make it look as though it was said in the original debate. Have you ever seen anything like that before? I certainly haven't. I think it's absolutely scandalous, and I've never been more outraged in regards to a debate that I've done. I genuinely was just flabbergasted when I first noticed this. Now, the thing that's